Hey, thanks for joining me in the studio. Today we're going to be painting this beautiful scene from my beach. This is Ruakaka Beach, and I walk this beach most days. This is looking up into the dunes, looking west at sunset, so obviously beautiful scene. Now this is how I've changed it into, this is a sketch for a painting, right? So I've done this digitally. This is on the iPad Pro and I'm using an Apple Pencil, so it's a pressure sensitive pen. And so that's before and that's after. Okay, so if you're interested, I'll show you how I've changed it from this photo to this sketch. This is a sketch for the painting. Okay, basically I've imported the photo. This is a program called Procreate on the iPad Pro, and I've put the photo in here and then I've just painted over the top with that. See, there's a layer there. So you can see everything I've changed here. So if you look in the foreground, I've removed that dark stuff in the bottom right hand corner and introduced some light into, I'll just draw it out here for you. Introduce some light into there and there, right? Not a whole lot of light, but just to relieve the coolness of this whole foreground area and tie it in with the warmth from the sunset. Okay, and I've also adjusted the paths. Oh, actually that comes later. Yeah. See the paths winding off into the distance here, so I've made it do that. And that's how it is originally. And added a few other little paths revealing themselves in the distance there as well. Okay, so I can actually show you the video of this being produced. Where are we? Here we go. So that's the first thing of introducing more of a sun glow effect in the distance. And then I thought, yeah, it'd be nice to introduce some warmth into the foreground. That's all about the warmth, and then getting rid of that dark stuff in the foreground there, because it just draws the eye too much, right? Too much contrast, yeah. And then introducing these magenta-y ice plant flowers, which are a feature of the area in some seasons. Changing the paths, putting some verticals in, some nice poles, and making more dynamic shapes out of the dune grasses in the foreground there. A little bit more light, and that's it. Okay, so what I do at this point, once I got it to there, is I'll show you exactly what I do, because you can see this look here is quite painterly, right? But where are we? That's where I get it to in Procreate, and then I just export that image and I import it into a program called PaintCan. Alright, so I'll show you that happening. Go to Photos, import what I've done from Procreate, and now the cool thing about this program is I can choose coarse there and just paint with your finger or a pen over the whole thing, and it just basically recreates the whole painting in broad brushstrokes. And then if you zoom in and paint, the brushstrokes get more detailed. Okay, I can choose a different type of brushstroke and just choose the area so I want to introduce more detail. So I generally just leave the outer edges as very broad brush strokes, and then come and zoom in on certain areas that I want more detailed. Very cool program to play with. You can use this just on straight photos or whatever you like, and basically it can give you a very quick idea of what this scene might look like as a painting. And you can even go in and add lines if you want to. Alright, this sort of thing. Make it really look like a painting. And if you zoom in on each of these brush strokes, you can see they are actually scanned real brush strokes that this program is working with. So pretty cool. Alright, so once you get it to that point, then you can export it and bring it back into Procreate, which is what I've done here. Actually, I'll show you the video. Okay, so moving on. So we get it to there, then we export it into PaintCan, and then import this, paste it into a new layer over the top, and then I just start deleting little bits where I want more detail to go. And you see I've changed the shape of the path there, and just start fiddling with it, add more light there. So before and after, and then fiddling with the foreground effect there. So I've ended up with that, and that is what I'm going to paint my painting from. And it makes it a lot easier because it's already looking like a painting. And you see, if I was looking at this instead, it's very easy to get carried away and trapped by all of the detail, yeah? Whereas the way I like to paint is big, bold, painterly brush strokes, and not worry about the detail too much. So this really suits my way of working, to create a painting before I do the actual painting. So let's get started. This is what I'm going to be painting from, and you'll have access to this in the resources as well. So let's see how we go. Okay, so we've got a 16 by 18 inch Frederick's Ultra Smooth canvas taped out onto the board here. I've got M-gram oils. These are the colors: the phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, the quinacridone magenta, cadmium red, yellow ochre, cadmium yellow light, and titanium white. I've got walnut oil as my medium to help the paint flow a little better on the canvas, and got a range of brushes, and they're all flats, and all of them except for these two are natural bristle. So to start out, I dip my brush in the walnut oil and I'm going to paint into a couch. That's what they call it. So I'll just grab some of the yellows, a little bit of white. I'm just avoiding blending at the moment because I don't want this color to work out into this pureness here, right? So I'll just get that on first, then we'll start mixing it in. There we go. So if you do make these a bit more, you know, impasto, so that the paint just sits on top there, what happens is these globs of paint will catch the light and actually create little glistening highlights, so they really start to look more 3D. Okay, now while we got that, we can also just add a little green to it. Use it for the side of the post. So yeah, you don't need a small brush to do that. Just squish the paint out, push it into the, make a little ridge of paint like that. And okay, now we can take the tape off. There you go. So as always, I hope you enjoyed that and got a lot out of it. And of course, you can rewind it all and watch it all again and go through it slower, or try different things with it. Try a smaller painting or a larger painting. Try it in a different medium. So keep those brushes wet, and thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.